Very, very good evening to all of you here today. I'm Cicely George, the Executive Director of Thai Dubai, and it is my absolute pleasure to welcome all of you to today's special session. I really don't want to say too much about what it's going to be other than the fact that he sounds super familiar to all of us, whoever's in the room, whether you're a visitor, whether you're Dubai, so you hear it right from Emirates, airport, metro. In fact, my son and I, when we take the metro, we do the metro stations in the metro voice. So that's an exciting thing for us. It's a pleasure for me to really have him here. And Jad will do the actual full introduction. He's a stand-up comedian, voiceover artist, music composer, school dropout, stand-up comedian, actor, all of that. And right from a very young age. We look forward to a very fun and engaging session. And I'll do a little bit of an introduction for Thai Dubai. Thai, there are some new faces here, and how Thai, it started as a conversation in Silicon Valley over 30 years back, and today it's in more than 60 chapters in 12 countries. So that's 63 cities across the globe. And Thai Dubai is the Middle East chapter. We've been in the region for over 21 years in Dubai Internet City. We function on 5 main pillars: mentoring, networking, education, funding, and incubation. So we run a lot of programs. We work with entrepreneurs across various stages, various profiles. So we, as a chapter, we focus on entrepreneurs across the MENA region. I think the pandemic, in fact, pushed our reach across the region, and we've been running pitch competitions in Saudi, Egypt, rest of the Middle East, etc. So I'll give you a snippet of what the 3 main programs that we run as well are. So we have the mentorship program. There's one that's announced where we take early founders, and we match you to an experienced mentor. So there are very successful entrepreneurs, serial entrepreneurs, who are the backbone of Thai Dubai, who help you navigate your journey and help you scale faster. It's an absolutely brilliant program. Keep your eyes out for the announcements on our channels. We also have the Thai Women MENA program, which is currently running. I think the application might be open for a day or 2. It's officially closed, but I know there's a second link that's open. This is something that we running in its 5th year. We work with women founders and help them scale. So there's mentoring, we help bring conversations to help them access funding. It's absolutely brilliant. They're at GITEX. We fly them all in, have competitions in Saudi, Egypt, rest of Middle East, UAE, Emirati. There's a focus on them as well. And then we also have the Thai University program where we work with early stage ideas. So those are younger ideas, and I think the way they think, we cannot think. So it's very important to kind of, integrate experience, and the things that come out of it is really very interesting. We fly them, in fact, to Silicon Valley, the winners, to they get to pitch among other founders across the globe, access boot camps, etc. So all in all, we do this really as community builders, and stay in touch with us through following us on social media. Thai Dubai is where we are, across Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, everywhere. Just look for Thai Dubai and follow us, and that's where we will announce our events and everything. So whatever's relevant for you, you should come by. Very special thank you to all the charter members and the board members who make the amazing things in the chapter happen. And I would also like to thank our partners for several years: Dubai Internet City, In5, Paramount Computers, Skyline University, and Ask Pankaj for their support for the chapter. Before I hand over, I want to mention that we will keep it interactive towards the end, and I would like to call on our board director of events, Bianca Gracias. Make sure you think twice before you answer whatever she asks. She's a lawyer.
Now that she made it so scary, nobody's going to smile or laugh at my jokes. And that's what I had planned. So I have something fun planned for you. I know you're trying to get to the good stuff, but bear with me for 2 minutes, right? My name is Bianca Gracias, and I run all the fun events that we have at Thai Dubai. So if you have any comments, suggestions, feedback, talk to me, okay? So before we get to listening to what Ahmad has to say, I have one question now. If you are listening to Sicily intently, I have some Godiva masterpieces to give away. Who likes chocolate? If you don't like chocolate, you know somebody who likes chocolate. So I have a question. If you can answer my question, you get all 3 of these masterpieces. Just put your hand up and scream the answer out loud. Okay? Ready? And Thai charter members cannot answer. Okay? You are excluded and exempted politely. So how many years has Thai Dubai been present for? Wow! Somebody was listening. There you go. Congratulations. So I won't tell you whether we have more prizes to give away because that will spoil the surprise for you. But getting down to business. So I want to introduce Jad Hindy, who has been our charter member here at Thai Dubai since 2009. It seems like forever now when you think about it. So Jad is now currently Senior Vice President at Expo City in Dubai. So he holds a very senior position. He's also been instrumental in driving digital transformation for major brands such as Do, Virgin Mobile, Expo 2020 Dubai, and Expo City Dubai. When I asked Jad what he does for fun, he said to me, I have 4 kids. ... I don't know whether that means he has fun or he has no fun. Not sure. But fun fact about Jad, he loves building things in his spare time. Currently, he said to me he's renovating a house. I don't know whether that's interesting or fun or not. It is. And he's also building a stereo system in his car. So, a studio in the car? Oh my goodness, a studio in the car. Oh my goodness. There you go. So if you want to speak to somebody who's as interesting as Ahmad Haffar, you've also got Jad. So I'm going to hand over to Jad Hindy, who's going to introduce Ahmad, and Jad, take it away.
Thank you. Hello. I don't know if my voice will sound like Ahmad's now, or maybe better.
It's gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. So thank you, Cicely. Thank you, Bianca. It's amazing for me to be here again. I think this has been my longest vacation from Thai. I haven't been on Thai stage for maybe 2 years, maybe a little bit more. But who's counting? So I decided to come back with Ahmad on stage. I think this is like the best way to do a comeback.
It is literally an honor, Jad. I am super happy to be here. Thank you, girls, for a lovely introduction. And I got to learn a lot about Thai today. And not the food. I made that joke earlier, but it's still stuck in my head because I do like Thai food, but this has nothing to do with that. But I do tie my life in a way that Thai Dubai does the thing. And that is somewhat relevant to Thai food because Thai food is like spicy, so you gotta have to be confident. And to be an entrepreneur, you have to be confident. So Thai Dubai and Thai food are somewhat similar, but that's how my brain functions. This is a little beginning of how my brain actually works in the real world. But hello, everybody, and hi, Jad.
Let's leave Thai and talk about Ahmad. What can you tell us about Ahmad in the Thai format? Don't start. So I met Ahmad a couple of years ago, and it was a very strange way for us to meet and be sitting right now here on stage together.
It really was.
It was during Expo 2020 days, and back then they had lots of projects going on. One project was with Ahmad, and then I heard that Ahmad became the voice of Expo 2020. I was like, I don't remember Ahmad is the voice of Expo 2020. We had to meet, we had to talk, and then we agreed on he's the voice of what, who's the voice of Expo 2020. Maybe we needed Bianca in that session, but it finished without us having to go to legal, right? So
No chocolates involved.
So that was how we met, and I think from then it went on to become something different because I found out that, okay, as someone who came to Dubai not long ago, he managed to do phenomenal things. And it's not only what he did with his voice. So I think Ahmad's talent is much more than what he's known for. He's known for his voice, and that's most likely the thing that he uses the least. What he does across Mindloop Studios, the work that he's done for multiple brands on how they can grow their presence just by being more vocal, and we'll talk about how he did that and how that helps you, brands that are personal and brands that are organizations. And I guess at the end, I'm tapping here into his business and how his business and his expertise can help other businesses. But before we tap into it, we'll talk about how him as an entrepreneur, because he's someone who started out of nothing, ended up acquiring a studio that was established more than 20 years ago in Dubai, most likely the first sound studio in Dubai. And then he moved on and he created a school. He realized that the talent that he has is a talent that he can pass on. And he did all that, and I don't think he's 30. So I guess we can hear a lot about his experience now.
I just turned 30.
Oh, there you go. Good. Good, he turned 30. Now we don't need to feel ashamed, right?
I know, first of all, everybody, thank you for coming here today. You all look beautiful. I see such a beautiful diversity of human beings here. Some people with very good taste in their hair, like the design of your hair, very well done. Other people who took quite, لا Jad, that's I'm talking in that area of the equation. El Equator over there. And other people with very, very good styles in their glasses. Well done. I used to wear glasses when I was a kid, by the way. And yeah, you have better taste than me. Because my mom would be like, no, but this one's nice. I'm like, no, I want this one. But it was horrible. So it's just, I was a kid. But yeah, the way me and Jad met was definitely weird at the time. To elaborate on his story, if that's okay. So people, you know. What happened was I started using my voice quite a number of years ago. I'll tell you why today. And when I had the privilege to voice Dubai Expo 2020 bus tours in the pavilions, it was in the English language, and I did around 100-something scripts. It was literally this much paperwork that I had to read. And then Gulf News put out an article on me saying the official voice, and that wasn't me saying, please write that. But it ended up initially getting me into a little bit of trouble, but I had the privilege to meet Jad, and when our energies clicked and he saw the kind of person I am and he understood what the situation really was, I made a genuine friend. And that's how you meet people and connect with people in life. It's by being the best version of yourself, the most honest version of yourself, the best you can. And at the same time, it is not all about you, but in the world of entrepreneurship, it is about what you can do, what you can offer, and where you can go. So it is about you in a way, but it's not just me the whole time. It's the ability to understand you on a deeper level the more you go into your journey. So I guess that's my little intro on the topic that Jad said.
So how did it all start? I think we have 40 minutes. Let's structure it in a way where we talk about your career, how it started, what made you do the things that you've done, and then we'll go and talk about how other organizations should utilize sound, voice to enhance their brand presence.
I can agree more, Jad. First of all, like Jad said, my voice is not what I do for a living. It's not something that I do every single day. I did end up being tremendously honored to hold the title of Voice of Dubai, but there are hundreds of voices out there, and the same voices will have done the brands I'm famous for, but I'm sort of like the newest guy to have done them, and I stood out because I just sound different, and I made this exclusive premium sounding voice that just sounds like, oh yeah, that's how that brand should sound. But that wasn't by mistake. That was actually through designing and modulating my voice to what the audience of that brand required, in which we're gonna go into the power of branding and the power of marketing. So I strategically crafted a voice, not just because I like doing voices. It was a tool that I utilized. Didn't really know it was gonna end up being this big, but here we are. But it started out with the intention of giving the brands what they want. So I guess just starting with that until things evolve naturally. And that's a very important point, that organically a lot of things happen the way that they're meant to happen. But to go back to the start, Monsieur Jad, Wallahi habibi, I'm a musician. I started listening to Eminem when I was 6 or 7, I remember that. I am French educated, so je parle français. My dad is a French teacher, so is my mom. But mama quit, so I'm the youngest of 4 kids, right? I've got my brother Wasim, he's 34. My sister Rina, she's 39. She's amazing. I love my sister. And then my brother Hussam, who's 44. He was a bit mean to me growing up, but I love him. He's a, eldest brother. Right? But Wasim was the one the 34-year-old one today, he was into music, right? Quite a bit. And so was Hussam, but more Wasim, because my eldest brother and my sister traveled when I was very young. So it was just mainly me and Wasim and my mom, my dad. My dad is not only a French teacher, he is also a poet. So my dad would read me some of his stuff and I'd be like, that's actually pretty cool. And I was like 6. But I found my dad to be enticing and incredible, and he is an incredible man. To this day, I love my dad. Imagine if you just stop loving your dad. Like, I used to love him. No, I still love my dad. But bought me my first car. That's why I love my dad. I'm joking. So it started out with my brother Wasim getting a guitar to the house. This is genuinely how my story started, ladies and gentlemen. And I just liked the guitar. It was really big because I was like tiny. So every time I'd hold the guitar, it would be like this. And I feel like this is amazing, ding, and that was it, you know, that's all I could do. So my dad actually felt bad for me, and he went and he got me a small acoustic guitar that was more fitting to my size. I know I'm still tiny as a 30-year-old, but I used to be way smaller, believe it or not. And I developed a relationship with the guitar. So it wasn't like this is a thing I do to pass time. There was like this immediate click, like when you go to an adoption center to get a cat or a dog. And there's a lot of cats, a lot of dogs, a lot of things to do in life. But I don't know, something about that guitar, Jad, spoke to me, you know? Now, I can't remember that when I was 9, like, it spoke to me. No, I don't remember. But I remember the feeling. I remember the feeling of being excited to play that guitar.
You fell in love with the guitar?
Immediately.
You've had how many years of music on the guitar before, like, you realized this is your passion?
So, initially, when I was like, 9, 10. When I started playing the guitar, I was really into Metallica. Who here remembers Metallica or used to listen to Metallica? There we go. Pretty much everybody. So everybody started out with a song called Nothing Else Matters. Da-na-na-na-na, right? So I did the same thing because you don't have to put your hand anywhere. You can just go like, it was fun. So I started there, and then I started trying to learn the song. But what happened was I started creating around the song, saying like, oh, maybe it doesn't have to continue the way it's meant to continue. Maybe I'll just play with it a little bit. So my, I guess, originality started as early as 9, 10. And then around 11, 12, my dad got me an electric guitar because we got serious. We went serious at that stage. And then 13, I got a Yamaha keyboard, one of the old ones, and I taught myself how to play keys. And throughout that period of time, my mom convinced my dad to put me in a music school in Lebanon, in Tripoli. And I went there, and I got into many fights with the teacher, and I got kicked out. Swear to God, I didn't want to learn music. I didn't want anyone to tell me musically what's right and what's wrong when I had built that relationship, which started when I was 9. And for anyone who's had a pet, and I didn't because my mom does not like cats or dogs. So my pet was music, all these instruments. It was love. It was genuine. It's like I got into a fight with my mom, I go play music.
Now I know that you didn't only drop out of music school, but also you dropped out of university.
No, I never got to university.
You never got to university?
I never got to high school. Let me explain. So, guitar was the thing that got me to start. And then keyboards and all of that continued. And then a friend of mine, her name was Nancy. She was pretty much with me in class. She got me an old violin that her dad used to play with back, like, whatever, in the 60s or 70s. And it was very detuned. So I cleaned it up with, I remember I used my mom's apple cider or whatever just to clean up all the rust on the strings. And I basically learned how to tune it because of the internet. And I also taught myself how to play violin. At that point, I was going into quartets and whatever, but I had no idea what I was doing. But because of that, I developed...
But you kept on researching and educating yourself?
Myself, yes. So there was no official musical education whatsoever. I was just truly convinced that I had a connection with music, and I started playing music, and I went on stage the first time when I was 14 in a music shop that would have events similar to this one, but way smaller than these. And the owner invited me to play on stage in front of like 15 people, in which I was literally booed off stage. Like, oh, boo, go down. And the reason why is because I wasn't doing what everybody else was doing. So here's the funny thing. People here, you guys like guitar music, like electric guitar class, right? So guitar is always guitar. What I did when I was like 14 and a half, my very first time ever on a stage, I had a pedal, which is an effect basically, that would create a delay effect or an echo effect. And I turned a random melody I came up with on the spot into a relaxing spa music. And people were like, what? Like they came to a show or part of a show, and I had like 5 minutes on stage, and I made relaxing music. And that was the first thing I wanted to do, just to create that like, hey, it's an experience kind of thing. So that's when I really just knew I was a bit different. It's because when I was genuinely rejected by my peers.
So rejected by your peers, rejected by music school, no university.
Before that.
Okay.
So who here knows the French system? And you know, because you're Lebanese. Who knows brevet, right? The brevet system knows the 11th grade. Let's call it 11th grade, right? So you finish 11th grade, and then the 12 to 15 is high school, and then after 15 you go to university. So I failed 11th grade 3 years in a row.
Okay, so school is not your thing.
No.
But you finally realized that. After
Yeah.
3 times.
Yeah. So the first time was in a nice school that I grew up in. Second year, it was in a different school that was a little bit less nice. Like it was just going down. And then the third year was in my dad's public school, in which it was only boys and we didn't wear uniform. And that was weird. I saw people giving each other cigarettes during what's it called, recess. And I'm like, what are y'all doing? And my entrepreneurial mind kicked in, and I'm like, can I sell them cigarettes? I was like, how does this work? But yeah, I failed school for the third year when I was in my dad's school.
So we covered, I think, academia, which doesn't exist.
Garbage.
Yeah. And how did you end up in Dubai? And tell us that Mindloop story. Because I think now realize that your background didn't build you as a businessman.
No.
It built you as a musician.
As a
and
musician.
you built yourself as a musician.
Yes.
Right? So when did that transfer happen from the musician to the businessman, and how?
Mainly when I was 16 and a half, before coming to Dubai, there's 2 things you guys should know here. First one is that I was teaching electric guitar to 4 students. The first one was a lovely girl called Rani. I was probably gonna watch this on YouTube, on Instagram when it comes out. She was my first crush. She was with me in class. So I taught her how to feel an instrument rather than understand or like, you know, theoretically understand the instrument, because I didn't understand it, but I really liked her and she was my first crush. So that was what I did. But then the second student was a boy, and that I gotta get paid for that, right? That's not a crush at all. So I started making money from that. But then one of my students, his name's Anthony, very tall guy, very lovely guy. His mom got him an audition at Belmarad in Tripoli in Lebanon, in which he asked me to join him, and he told his mom, I'll feel more comfortable that Ahmad's there. For me, $10 a week is $10 a week. That's all I saw. There was nothing else. And when I went there, I was asked by a lovely woman called Maria, what am I doing there? And I told her, oh, I teach this guy. He was way taller than me. I was tiny and I was wearing glasses. Like I told you, people with nice glasses. And I ended up convincing her that I can make music on the spot with any emotion that she can tell me. And she did tell me multiple emotions. I made the music. She got a bunch of guys. And one of them started asking me where I'm from and what they liked me basically. And the guys are, where are you from, blah, blah, blah. And I told him, I'm like, oh, Abu Samdam, Trablus, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, it's cool. I'm like, so who are you? What's your name? And he's like, oh, I'm Milham Zain. I'm like, who is that? For who doesn't know, that's a very famous Lebanese
You
singer.
need an audience more with Lebanese or Arabs in it.
Yeah, if
to
you
get
are a
the
bit more
Milham
Arab, that's
connection.
a very, it's like meeting Ariana Grande and you're like, who are you? And Ariana's like, I'm Ariana Grande. So like, it was a big name, and he ended up going with me because he found me funny. And I made my first song ever, realistic song, which made me $300 when I was 15 and a half for Milham Zain Vivian Brat. It's called Yalla. You can find it on YouTube, and you'll see me on stage. I had long hair, and I played my part on guitar and my part on piano, which I composed for that song. So that's how I genuinely started, approximately 16. That was in Trablus. And then the main composer of the song, Jamiri Rieshi, who's a very known composer, discovered me, and I ended up making music for Nancy Ajram, Elisa Fawhabi, and many others, which are humongous names in Lebanon. And I got on TV, and my mom went to my dad and just like, what is he doing with his career? And then my dad's like, I'm proud of you. My mom's like, this is not gonna last. Boy, it did last. And so what happened there. But now I have to take you to another part of the journey, in which I was involved in a very serious car accident. I don't know if anyone here knew that or have read about me. But at the age of 17 and a half, I was in the back seat of a car that was heading from Beirut to Tripoli, the north, where we are. And my best friend, the driver, my other best friend, the passenger, everybody was completely sober, genuinely, cross my heart. but we fell from the bridge to the valley, and it was around 2.5 stories. So if you live on the second floor, try to jump from your balcony. Not very nice. And that's what happened with us. And Ahmad and Muhammad passed away, bless their souls. And I was in a coma for around a month. Came out of the coma. My hand was broken, which is obviously my tool, right? This is the tool to do the thing I want to do. And that was broken. My leg was broken. My back was broken. I almost lost my left eye. And being in a coma is very weird. It's like really, really going to sleep. You know, we're like I'm tired. I'm just gonna. I'm like, no, that was a long sleep. And it's weird going to the bathroom after waking up a month later, by the way. I hope no one ever experiences that, but it's a horrible. Okay, back to the serious. But it was really bad. It was the worst experience that I've ever been through to this day. But thank God after that, my mom convinced me to come to Dubai because my eldest brother lives here, and to try Dubai out, in which I had a job. And this job was to make music playlists. And I think you all know where I'm going with this. I got fired. So I lasted 4 months, and I'm supposed to be there 9 to 6, like at 9:30 to 6, and I would sometimes show up at 11, and sometimes I wouldn't show up. And that's because I was very, very focused on, I wasn't convinced. I didn't survive that to do this mentally.
What was that job?
Just music playlists. You know how you go to Spotify, you're like, summer playlist, ready, right? So like, but no, like that's not what I wanted to do. And that's when I discovered something called sonic branding, or music branding, or official music branding for companies. And it was over a cup of coffee with a friend of mine who owns a big company here in Dubai, actually. And I ended up making his later on in my career. But he told me about what sonic branding is because he's lived in the US as well. And I'm like, oh, you mean like this jingle melody? Because he looked me straight in the eye and he just said, pa-da-pa-pa-pa, I'm loving it. And I'm like, yeah, that's McDonald's. He's like, did I tell you it's McDonald's? And I'm like, huh. So I thought it was a jingle. But a bit of Googling, and I heard someone from Google is here. Thank you for my career. Appreciate it. 90% of my net worth right there. Thank you, sir. So I'm like, what is sonic branding, you know? Like, this is some cool stuff. Like, I make this little melody, and then the whole brand is tied to the melody. And you, Jad, Smallah alaik, Allahu Akbar, with your experience, you know about all of this, right? But for me, I had no idea. And I'm just this kid in Dubai. I had a license on a job I was fired from, but luckily the owner is a friend with my brother. So he convinced Mehdi, who now loves me, by the way, he convinced him leave my brother's visa on, which was 2 years. And then I did a freelance one. But during that time, I just tried to sell music any way I could, and I succeeded. So basically, when I did one of my very first projects, Dubai Parks and Resorts, I'm sure you've all been there, a lot of the music there is actually me, even though you don't know that. But when you're walking around, like, oh, this is me. I composed that. But yeah, that was one of the first ones, and then it transitioned to many more. And I completely killed it. And that's the whole point of entrepreneurship. I came in it knowing I'm gonna do it, you know what I mean? It wasn't a maybe. It was like, I have to create from zero, I have to create the concept, I have to compose it all, and millions have to remember it. Literally made for me. The job was made for me.
How did that transform into acquiring the studio?
During that time, I collaborated with multiple studios in Dubai, actually. And I had a friend of mine. His name is Eli. Eli used to work in the studio I now own. And he wanted to introduce me to the owner to see if I could be part of their team. But I was making good money for someone who was 23 years old at the time. So when I met the owner, he saw basically he saw my capabilities initially, and he wanted to grow the business from between him and him. And he heard my story. We went out, we had a cup of coffee. Great guy, great mentor. I owe him so much. And he sat and he's like, you're a little bit crazy. I'm like, yeah. He's like, how crazy? I'm like, pretty crazy. And he's like, okay, you might be good for business. And I was. So initially, he offered me 20% of Mindloop Studios as a gift. Can you guys imagine that? You know a guy for a week, a kid for a week. And you're like, hey, you want a part of a company that's 20 years old? So it was all of the 4 years.
So he saw something in you that...
It was immediate.
Okay.
It was like this. And then I ended up actually acquiring 30% because I could only afford 10% in cash. It's a pretty expensive company, you know? So 10% equated to a lot, which I made because of sonic branding, which is because of Mr. Google. So, and I would, during that period of time, before getting into Mindloop, I would get to my clients' job by any means necessary. Like, for example, back then, I'm sure you remember, LinkedIn wasn't like all there, right? It was mainly Facebook, actually. So I would go to Facebook and try to find the right people in marketing or branding or whatever, and then I would add their wives, boyfriends, anybody, and befriend them, and go and hang out with them once, twice, like we're just cool. Yeah, let's go out, let's have fun, let's get a coffee. And then, oh, you know the person who does X, Y, and Z? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, can you introduce me? And before you know it, boom, I got a deal. So
master at hustling.
yes, 100%. And that's how it started with Mindloop, because Mindloop is a full audio production house. I'll take you guys through that a little bit more. It's literally one of the biggest audio production houses in the country. And we have hundreds of voices on our database. But anyway, the point is that Ahmad was actually the reason why I got to become a proper entrepreneur, because he taught me how to run a business, which was tremendously hard and out of my comfort zone as an artist. But when he saw how famous my music got in the country at 23, he's like, oh, you're an earworm. You are an earworm. And I'm like, yeah, but there was no voice at the time. I hadn't discovered the voice yet, which we'll get to. But yeah, that's how my journey started as an entrepreneur.
Okay, and now you're at Mindloop. You're producing sonic branding, which you didn't know as a business it existed before. How did that become your main thing? And what is the message of importance within that for brands? So why is that important for brands? I know why it's important for brands, but I want everyone here to understand why it's important for them.
So Mindloop is a production house, right? Who here knows what a production house is? Okay, all right, a few. Hi, sir, in the green. I liked when you smiled earlier. Can you keep that going? Okay, because I like that. I like that more. You're just like very, like, no, it's beautiful. It's for you, sir. An audio production house is similar to a video production house, where we do something called post-production. When you see a lot of the advertisements on YouTube, Instagram, whatever, these advertisements that were shot in video then have an audio spectrum. This audio spectrum is either sound effects, like that's a sound effect, sound design, which is everybody go silent in 3, 2, 1. That AC is sound design, literally. So when you see an ad and it sounds right, that sounds right means that the production house, the audio production house, did a good job. And then there's obviously the voiceover or the voice actor, in which it depends whether it's an advertisement or a video game or an animation, where we have dubbing. And dubbing is different. So all of these services we provide, and because the company is over 20 years old, I got into a little bit of a cheat code because the place was there, it was known, and it really helped me get there. And I came with sonic branding, which is a very fresh idea at the time anyway. It's still fresh to this day, by the way. To most brands, I go to them, I'm like, you want a sonic branding? And they're like, what is that? And I'm like, okay, then I have to do the whole explanation. But from there on, the point of why audio plays a big role is because last time I checked, you're all listening to me using your ears, which work. And at the same time, when you eat, you use your tongue to taste. You use your nose to smell. These things exist. Use your eyes to look. And you're all beautiful. So imagine without having eyes. I mean, come on. Come on. Sir, in the shirt, I want to tell you one thing. Since I saw you and fixated on you a little bit, what I can say immediately is that you have 20 plus years of experience in something. Whatever it is, I feel like you've succeeded in it in a way where you're so calm. I'm looking at this lovely man and I'm like, I want to be that calm. Like inertly. Because as entrepreneurs, we're constantly challenged, truly challenged deep inside to create value that actually matters. So why does sonic branding matter and what does it mean? Sonic branding is a term that was crafted in the 90s in the US that transitioned from a jingle to something a little bit more serious. It then went on getting adapted on different platforms, meaning you have a brand, they have a ten, 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 whatever it is, And then that ten, 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 ten is on the phone when you call them. But it's also on their social media. But it's also when you go there. But it's also when you walk around the area where they're present, whatever it is. It's something that when you hear it, you immediately connect with the brand. So for me, I've done 102 of those. And I am told by many people that one of my projects, well, a few of them, but one of my projects is extremely annoying. So who here knows some of the music I've composed? Raise your hand. If you don't, I'm happy to tell you. I'm just a voice guy, aren't I? I'm just a voice guy. I have composed the music for a humongous amount of brands, but one of them, specifically in Dubai, is called Insurance Market.
What did you do? I don't know if this is good feedback or bad feedback. I guess I'm confused.
Does it not prove the power of audio branding? I agree completely, it's annoying. I'll give you another few examples. For example, this you would never know in a million years that I'm behind it unless you work with me professionally, Google me or whatever. But if I were to just call one brand, and I'll take you through how this impacted this particular brand on a global scale. Because my music, people think my voice is because it's famous in Dubai, like, oh, this is where I've reached. You have no idea how famous my music is, people. You have no idea how many, potentially hundreds of millions of people have been exposed to my music without even knowing. But I'm just gonna turn on my little internet. So I'm gonna call one of the brands, and when you hear it, you're gonna be like, oh, I think I've heard that somewhere. And then you'll know why. So, no Google, I do not wanna open in the app. Can you tell him, can you call the CEO, just tell him that we're on an event and stuff? It's not cool, you know? All right, here we go.
Welcome to Rixos the Palm. Please press 1 for room reservations. Press 2 for restaurant reservations.
That music in the background is the official piece of music for Rixos Hotels, which started with the ta-da-da-da. That's their signature. This is applied in 27 properties around the world, the exact same music. Sometimes it's adapted with different instruments for the Qatari market. It's adapted in different instruments for the Istanbuli or the Turkish market, but because they're originally Turkish. But to craft that 4-second melody took me 3 months. Yeah, and I had to stay in every Rixos. Also, who here drinks Barakat juice? Raise your hand. A lot of people. How many of you have heard the Barakat? Raise your hand. Oh, you like it. Thanks, buddy. Happy to hear. So I also crafted that. Obviously, I'm not a woman, so it's not me singing, but I came up with the whole idea, with the concept. I got the singer, and she did it. She's a friend. At the same time, who here has heard, I have a lot of stuff. Who here has heard, I don't know, Ittisala, the raise your hand. Oh, that's a lot of people. Well, guess what?
I still prefer the do one.
Yeah? So the thing is, the thing with music, who here knows Switch TV, which is also an app by Itsalat? Literally, that's it? Okay, well. Switch TV. Yeah, I know, it's annoying. I'm aware. The idea was but
So basically, whether it's annoying or amazing,
or professional, or luxurious, or whatever.
But if we hear it and we're annoyed, if we hear
Yes.
it and we love it, the important thing is that it has to leave something for us to remember, irrespective of the feeling, good or bad.
Yes, and a lot of it does not contain the name of the brand. So Insurance Market or Barakat, it's because it was intelligently adapted. It wasn't a jingle. Even if you look at brands like Car Switch, who here knows Car Switch? They're all over the place, right? Okay. So Car Switch is a pa-na-na, ta-na-na. Car Switch, let us take over. Who's heard that? Raise your hand, whoever's heard.
Yeah, but I didn't hear it. Investors and didn't hear it. I think they need to work on their media plan.
I'll call Ahmad. But a lot of these brands need to understand that the audience that they're reaching out to, the right audience, is in the tens of millions. Meaning, even if this group of people, if 3 of you, so any project I spoke about in terms of music, at least 3 to 4 of you have raised hands, right or wrong? Out of 200 million people, or 100 million people, or 20 million people, how many people, if this is 100 million people, people raising 3 hands, that's what, 30 million people? 30 million people means how many sales? That's sonic branding.
Okay, Ahmad, for startups, I mean, I know sonic branding for big brands. And that's big budget, right? Now, if you're a startup...
It's not cheap. It's not
Yeah.
cheap.
If you're a startup and you need to start making sure that your brand is noticed vocally, where can you start? How should you start?
Look at TikTok, look at Instagram, right? I'm not on TikTok, I'm not on Instagram. I've got 20,000 here, 19,000 there, I don't even know. But we all in this room know, at least now you have a better idea of the extent of my music and how well it's known. And of course, the voice. I'll give you a few. Raise your hand if you've been to the opera. It's one of my favorites. Okay. That's enough. Ma'am, you haven't been there? I'm going to invite you. Whoever you're with, you're both on me. Okay, so again, who's been to the opera? Raise your hand. Okay, I'm going to choose one of you randomly. Just keep your hands open, please. Opera. I'm going to choose one of you randomly. Raise your hand if you've been to... Ladies and gentlemen, raise your hands if you've been to the opera. Okay, I found a human being. Now check this out. I want you to take a look at this person here who I'm joining. And they have been to the opera. Just look front. Don't worry about me. Everybody else look at her. And I want you to see how her facial expressions automatically and naturally change when a unique tone that's designed for the brand hits her eardrum. You guys ready? Here we go. Just look front. You're the subject. Look front. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dubai Opera. The show is about to begin in the next 30 minutes. السيدات والسادة، مرحبا بكم في دبي أوبرا. يرجى العلم أن العرض سوف يبدأ بعد 30 دقيقة. Dubai Expo 2020 حياكم. So as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, it creates that immediate momentum. And by the way, that doesn't cost a lot of money. So when it comes to a voice, it's about finding a brand identity voice. That is not a sonic branding. That is the ability to create an instantaneous human connection utilizing a human asset, which is a human voice. Don't even get me into AI. We're still far off from that. And I'm being copied. I saw on TikTok. I swear to God, people are actually using my voice cloned. It's weird. Who's a lawyer here? We'll talk. I gotta get paid. But anyway, the way to do it, entrepreneurs, my fellow brothers and sisters, the way to do it is to first of all understand your brand, understand your audience, understand what you're missing in terms of building the brand identity, making sure that your visual identity is strong to begin with, that the messaging is strong to begin with. And always remember that it's always the video, the visual, and then the sound, most of the time. Unless it's sonic branding, ironically, it's the sound, then the video. So when it comes to having a voice, the reason why the Dubai government utilizes my voice a lot, and I hold the title of Voice of Dubai, is because of the premiumness that I've activated in my voice in both the English and Arabic language, which are relevant to this part of the world, and activated those in governmental entities. Not because I'm the nicest sounding voice, it's because I'm the most strategically well-placed one. So when you want to win customers, you need to be well strategically placed in a manner where they can rely on you. And another asset that helps to achieve that, and with Jad's insane experience in marketing and branding, sound helps. Voice helps. To identify that is to take it forward. Now, I know how annoying insurance market is, but have you any idea how successful insurance market is? And then when I came and I convinced the owner of insurance market to create a sonic branding, I came to a brand that was well established, visually, had a top of mind everywhere in between. All I did is that I just kicked it off to fly off the space. That's what I did. That was my job. I was in the shower. Legit. I was in the shower. And I'm like, how annoying can I be? I would like to get as annoying as can be. Insurance market.he. And I just, my brain, this weird thing, came up with the insurance market.he. It was a statement. It was a statement. Hey, you want to use us? It's a statement. But then if you go to a lot of the other luxurious and high-end and globally famous brands that I've worked on, like Kellogg's, who here hasn't had breakfast with Kellogg's cereal, right? Stuff is delicious. So here's a fun fact. You go to Kellogg's in the UK, in the US, in Europe, it's my music. How ironic that a guy living in Dubai has reached that market. And that market didn't end up choosing a specialist in that part of the world because I came up with a good concept. So when you are approaching any potential customer or any potential passion in your entrepreneurial journey, you need to understand what you want to begin with, what your actual clientele or customer wants, and how your brand can reflect that. And then you utilize the power of sound. Sound includes voice, it includes music, jingles, or the big ticket item, which is called sonic branding. So all of these things are taken from the ethos of yourself as an entrepreneur, wanting to make that effect and having a lasting effect on people. And sometimes you overdo it like me and come up with something like insurance market or barakat, which are very annoying. But that's not 100% of my portfolio. That is literally 2% of my portfolio. So in reality, that's how you bring yourself to the next stage. Off to you, Jad.
So, which job or which sonic or which voiceover that you've gave to a brand you're the most proud of?
Definitely, for the voice one, it would be the opera, the airport, basically everything governmental because of that tone. Because before I did the whole governmental thing, I've done a lot of the shops you love delivered better. Download the InstaShop app now. محلات حبونا توصيل تسألونا. حملوا تطبيق InstaShop الآن. So I've done some ads, right? And there's my voice on a lot of sonics like Saudi German Hospital, caring like family. And by the way, guys, it's very weird when you're the guy on the phone. So here's a fun story, if you don't mind me saying a story. I was sick, legit. I was actually sick. So I wanted to go to the hospital. I usually either go to Garhoud or Mirdif or Saudi German, because I know a lot of people there. And I wanted to go to Garhoud. So I wanted to call them and be like, hey, I really need to book a doctor. I wasn't feeling well. And you know what I mean? It was really bad. But then I forgot something very important, especially that I was feeling bad. I gave him a call, and I hope you never experienced this, but
شكرا لاتصالك بمجموعة HMS الطبية.
ابتسامتك تبدأ هنا. Thank you for calling HMS Medical Group. Your smile begins here. Do you know how weird it is to be put on hold to your own voice and your own music as you're going, oh my God, just get me a doctor. Just get me a doctor, Jesus Christ. It's like, hello, sir, how can I help you? Talking from blah, blah, blah. It's like, please, I really need a doctor, and it needs to happen now. It just needs to happen immediately. I'm sorry, sir, there's around 15 customers that are waiting before you. I am literally dying. I have good insurance, I promise you. Insurance market, it's just... And then no one's like, I'm sorry, sir, I have to put you on hold for a minute. And I'm like, it's literally my music. Please, I'm hurting here. So it's weird. Sometimes when even with my mom, I was sitting next to her, and then she was put on hold, and she was smoking her cigarette, and my music came. I'm like, Mama. She's like, shut up. Can't you say it? And I'm like, you're on hold. She's like, yeah, but shut up. I'm like, Mama, that's my music. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, that's my music coming from your phone right now. She's like, they put me on hold. I'm like, I know, I did the music that's on hold. And it's weird. It's weird to explain to people how my job works. But in terms of effectivity, ooh, ladies and gentlemen. So it's not about what's my favorite. It's about where I pushed the boundaries. And I will tell you right now, and I'll tell you this, Jad, right now, I haven't done anything. So I don't have a favorite yet. I have a favorite when you go to watch a Hollywood movie and I'm the person who composed it. And again, you have to manifest. So for me, it's not, will I ever get there? Oh, no, don't worry, I'm getting there. Yeah, and don't worry about that. I'm 100% getting there. I'm getting there because I earned my seat on the table, because I did the impossible. So you need to do the impossible. If you feel what you want to achieve is hard or impossible, good, excellent. Go out there and make it happen. That's what matters. So the more I'll do, the more I'll have more favorites, the more I'll have more exciting projects. Today, one of my favorite projects is Festival City, which is a mall all over the Middle East, and I just finished their music, and it's live, and it goes, ta-na-na. You're gonna start hearing it everywhere. And we're implementing it. And who here has been to the Imagine show? The Imagine show of Dubai Festival City Mall? Raise your hand, please, if you've been there. Okay, so you know the Welcome to Festival Bay, right? You've heard that? Okay, cool. So I've now made the official music for the Fountain Show, which is going live in September. And it is by far the most beautiful musical piece I've written, to the point where an orchestra is gonna be playing my music. Me, an idiot, right? Musically. And there's like a 25-piece orchestra that's gonna play my song. And I just turned 30. So like, I've got 40 years to go, you know what I mean? Like, of course I'm gonna get to wherever and however, but it is about also nurturing the relationships that you meet. And sometimes, even when you meet someone in the weirdest way possible, you show your true colors and they will know who you truly are. Thank you.
Ahmad, I think with the impossible, it's the right point whereby we open the floor for impossible questions.
Yes.
Let's-
Ladies and gentlemen, questions time. Yes, sir. You came here to work at 16 and a half, correct? No, I came here at 19 after my car accident, sir.
I have a funny question. Like, you don't have a degree. How did they get your residence visa?
That is a very good question. Until I received,
Or they told you were house help or something. I'm just
until I got my latest visa, which I'm very privileged to have. Before that, I used to hold the title archival clerk, which is the highest title and profession I could hold. So I was the owner of a business generating 3.6 million dirhams a year, holding the title of archival clerk. I was quite literally driving a Ferrari while I am told I'm an archival clerk. So I guess to answer that question, titles are just titles, sir. But good question. Next question.
Hello, Ahmad. Thank you for the talking. I want to ask about the AI thing because it's going to be everywhere. The visuals, the audios. I'm a little bit concerned about AI things and about sound and video. So how do you see that in the future?
First of all, you are gorgeous and tall and brown, and I love that. Second of all, so is a girl I'm seeing, almost identical, just female version. Third of all, I'm not worried about AI because that's the problem. I'm not worried about AI because, first of all, what's your lovely name?
Amir.
Amir, شرفنا Amir, أنا أحمد. I'm not worried about AI because, first of all, AI won't be able to replicate what the actual market requires for the coming years. Jad, I would love for you to chime in on this when I'm done with the point because I'd love to get your opinion as a marketeer, but I don't think for the next few years it can actually accurately replicate what advertisements require. And at the same time, actual voiceover production is not that expensive in comparison to video. So if you produce a video for 500,000 dirhams, you're not gonna cheapen out on 10,000 dirhams to produce some proper voiceovers. That's not where it's gonna be the issue, you know? Now, in terms of creating a video product from zero with a director, AI director or whatever, and then applying the AI voiceover and AI music to that, 100% is the future. 100%. But again, the future. It's not gonna happen as close as it's gonna happen unless one Chinese guy gets his heart broken and he has nothing better to do and then he's gonna go and develop it overnight. Unless that happens, as an industry, as the media industry, we're fine. But then you've got Netflix who went and said, hey everybody, we're gonna create a tool that's gonna allow you, the person watching, to create your own show utilizing AI. And I'm like, what an amazing marketing tactic. That's all it is right now. It's not gonna happen anytime soon. You're not gonna be like, I wanna show like The Office. There's 20,000 shows like The Office by then, because everybody wants to see The Office. But it's really about understanding marketing trends. And one of my main inspirations in understanding local and regional marketing trends are ironically Jad. I read a lot of his posts on LinkedIn, and if you guys don't know, I'm not gonna plug my own social media, I'm gonna plug Jad. If you don't have this lovely man on LinkedIn, please go and add him or follow him because he posts extremely important, trendy content that is happening in the world of branding and marketing. And if you're an entrepreneur...
I didn't pay him for that, okay?
He didn't pay me for that. If you are an entrepreneur, you need his insights. See, because I'm a specialist in the world of branding and audio and sound. Jad is a real marketeer. Now, I know how to market myself to the seventh sky, but I wouldn't know how to market you the same way. I know how to market you from an audio perspective and assist you, 100%. But as a personal brand, like Ahmad, you got yourself to be this guy. Can you? No, I can't do it with you. I don't know how to do that. but I opened the school that can help you to get there, but I'm not the one teaching. So my point is, you're safe. If you're in the industry in any way, you're safe for the next few years. But me, my preparation is my studio, my audio production house, Mindloop. We are already developing an AI program which can do Khaliji voices, Emirati, Saudi, it can do American, British, Irish, all the different dialects of India, Pakistan, ever in between, and Urdu, because a lot of the briefs that we get, we are going to clone some of the talents' voices, pay them a fee for utilizing their voice as an AI voice, but it's realistically going to become a product that we have available amongst other products. So like, think about it this way, and I'm sorry if I'm taking too long to answer this, but I want you to hear this bit specifically. Electric cars, right? Everybody's like, oh, everything's gonna be electric, everything's gonna be electric. Is everything electric? No, everything's not electric. You've got hybrids, you've got this, but hybrids came out when the Toyota Yaris or whatever that thing was called came out ages ago, and it didn't pick up a trend. So, yes, exactly. So it's not always gonna pick up a trend the same way, but everybody gets afraid at first. That's the problem in this industry, is that everybody's like, oh, I'm gonna lose my job, I'm gonna close up my company. Said who? There's a lot of people out there, Jad included, who's more than happy to pay for quality. And people like that are still the leaders in the region. And they're gonna remain the leaders, so you're good. Jad, what do you think?
AI is a tool. You shouldn't be afraid of the tool. How you...
Using ChatGPT asking the question, can you speak this in Ahmad Haffar's voice? Does it do that?
You can try.
I haven't tried.
But I want to tell you one thing. We're at Expo City, we're utilizing AI across multiple things, and we're trying it. Not because we want to replace Ahmad, but because it accelerates the phase from us to get to the point where we want to use Ahmad. So if I want to test a VO internally in the office and see how it works, before I go and I seek the talent of Ahmad, I do that. Because I can do it now quickly. I can do it in a good, from a quality point of view, in a good way. And anyone in my office can do it. We don't need to waste more time. So it's a tool. It's accelerating our process from ideation to execution. And it gives us multiple versions as we're going ahead with that. So whether it is a VO, whether it is replacing the face of someone in a film, and we had that occurrence. Nada here heads the team of content creation at Expo City. One day we had a film that we created, and we took time to create. We were going to push it in the market, and someone told us, you know what, the only way this film can go out, if, I'm giving Ahmad as an example, if Ahmad's face is not Ahmad's face. Ahmad is acting in the film, but I don't want to see his face. Now we had two options. Either we go and throw that in the bin and start ahead and go produce the entire thing from scratch, or we use AI to replace Ahmad's face
My ugly face.
with Jad's face. And we did
Beautiful
that.
face.
And honestly, it was a mission. Our team did that in less than 24 hours.
So you see, it's heading there.
They learned the skill, tried it, and did it, and the film is live. It's on our social channels already. Nobody can tell that it got changed and edited by AI. So it works. It's a tool. You need to learn it. You need to put it and use it in the right place, and it will never replace talent. This isn't something that AI can replicate.
Have you flown on Emirates? Who here has flown on Emirates? Raise your hand. Okay. When you're sitting and the ice comes and whatever, and like I'm talking to you, right? Remind me your name? Amir?
Amir. Yeah.
Amir. I'm talking to you. It's a normal dude. It's a normal voice, right? Normal guy, right? But when this same guy, you're waiting in the terminal and it's, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Dubai International Airport. Please keep your luggage on you at all given times. Then you get on Emirates and you're sitting there and this guy shows up again and it's like, this is Dubai, a cosmopolitan city all the way in the sky. With Emirates Airlines, we welcome you. So that is not just me shifting my voice, whatever. I am giving you an experience. AI can't do that. We can teach it and I'm happy to teach it. You know why? Because I'm a businessman. I'm an entrepreneur. I like money. I'm not just happy with my talents. I'm tremendously grateful for my talents. But I also like my mom living in a nice place. So that's not going to happen only from my talents. You need to understand that entrepreneurship is using your talents effectively and cost effectively. And Jad will agree on this. The whole point of production is who's fastest and who's cheapest. And if they happen to be talented, I'm happy to pay a little bit more.
Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, another question. Let's keep it going. Give yourself a clap for being here today. Let me hear a clap for this amazing crowd. Where's the energy, people? You're entrepreneurs. Supposed to be proud of yourselves. God, you're all beautiful.
You're seeing his stand-up comedian phase coming into, the...
No more corporate. I wasn't even corporate. Yes, sir.
مرحبا. Hello,
مرحبا.
my name is Ahmad.
هلا. حزار شو اسمي?
Ahmad كمان.
Yeah.
So I'm founder of a tech company startup starting soon. So I want to know your insider tips of why, how you can know, like for example, when I want to going to start my own company brand name, I was searching for something that is not plagiarized because sometimes we think of a corporate name or company name, you see it's taken before. So regarding that, in your music, how do you know your tune or your music is not used by somebody else, for example, in the 50s?
Interesting. That's a good answer. Like for me, I really can't talk as an industry. I mean, I am a bit of a leader, but I am. I've done a lot, but I can't talk for the overall industry. What I can tell you is I've always been attracted to not doing what others do. And when I was 13, I didn't know I'm gonna be so cool because I don't wanna learn music. To me, back then, at that age, as a kid, it was a conviction. Something inside of me convinced me I don't wanna do that. Maybe I was just lazy and talented. Maybe. It could have been. But something in me was like, no, I don't want to follow X footsteps. So for me, every time I get a new brand to work on, one of the favorite things that my clients like to choose me for is now I have a humongous portfolio. But how do you think I got to that humongous portfolio? It was original every single time. So if you actually put my portfolio, which some of it is available online, and you compare this brand to that, none of them sound the same. For example, who here uses the Dubai Police app? Everybody, right? That's my music. I know it's weird, and I also voice them. Ma Dubai Police نرحب بكم. Yeah, I know it's weird, but my point is that was also original from zero. So as a tech company, however you want to name your company, however you want to put it out there, try to be less techy, because most of the time, companies who are too techy, they don't sound nice. Look at Google. They weren't very serious. Like the founder went to his, like there are multiple founders, right, sir? 2 founders. So one of them was like, one guy's right there. His name's Richie? One of the guy? No, I forgot. Sorry? Larry, right? So Larry, and what's the other guy? Sergey. Okay, so we've got Larry over there. We've got Sergey over there. I'm going to play Sergey. Larry doesn't exist. Just imagine him there, okay? It's like, wait, who am I? Larry? I'm Larry, right? Okay. Sergey! Stop. What are you doing? You're drinking water? Man, you're going to choke on that thing. Stop it. You're going to go, Google. Stop it. Oh, wait, remember that company we talked about? Yeah, listen. And boom, Google's done. It's not very serious. Look at Spotify. Let me spot things. Whatever, man. Have fun. My point is have fun. You've had fun before in life, I'm sure, right? Do the same coming up with the name of the brand. That's it. Like, and if you feel like I can't do it, get a professional. They'll probably sit down and be like, Tech U, here's a check for $10,000. That's how much you paid them for them to come up with the word. That's the point of creativity. You actually can't buy it. You're just trying to lease it off a creative person, because what we have is God-given. It's not taught. So, yeah, I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, thank you. And another thing that you mentioned about is like your music. You said it's always original. How you know, for example, it's not similar? Like, for example, Taylor Swift get into problem with, like, it sounded similar to another court case for another musician?
I've never listened to a Taylor Swift song in my life. Thank you very much. I have listened to Lady Gaga's ooh, ah, because I was 16 and I went to a party I wasn't allowed to go to, and that was what was playing there. But let's just say I've never been attracted to pop music or the radio ever. I would actually physically close my ears when there would be a radio around. So that allowed me to just be more original.
Our lawyer, Bianca, would know how someone can check around trademarks or copyrights.
Ah, really?
Yeah,
Lovely.
that was my question. I want to know how you know it's not, you don't plagiarize on the copyright.
Ah, you mean from a musical standpoint?
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. So, obviously, right? So when you are playing a melody that is identical from the right instrument to the right. So a lot of electronic music or modern music is made with an instrument called a synthesizer. Synthesizers are instruments that could be presets, or you can craft the sound from zero. The odds of you creating the exact same melody in the exact same sound and the exact same term and the exact same speed is literally like saying, I want to find a hay in an ocean. The odds are close to impossible, unless I purposefully go, all right, Mr. Jolly B, how about this? Jolly, 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 jolly. And they're like, oh, that's pretty good. And I'm like, jolly, 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 jolly. They're like, hey, that's McDonald's. It's because I just took the whole thing, and that's an obvious breach of copyright. It would be a breach of copyright there. But my music, I don't have to worry about that, because I just don't listen to common music, I guess. I don't know.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We have a question there.
All right.
Hi, Ahmed. I'm Raouf.
Love the beard.
Thank you.
How do you be this good looking?
Sorry, what?
How do you be this good looking? Teach me.
I can like show you around, like
Hell yeah.
how to go about it.
We're doing that. Listen, I'm feeling like dinner right now. If you. Okay. I know I represent the government and everything. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So my question is that whenever a brand tries to approach you, and you want to be its voice, what's your thought process? How do you understand the brand's personality? How do you decide what voice it's going to have?
It's challenging every time, but I currently only do governmental brands, which has taken on this shape of English and Arabic that you're already used to. But before I got to the governmental bit, it would be, like, for example, take InstaShop. I had a contract for 2 years. They were legally tied to me. There's even some articles that we released about this. Ahmad Haffar, official voice of InstaShop, and all of that. First of all, it was with the help of the leadership team, the marketing team, and the branding team sitting together, giving me their precious time, which I'm very grateful for, explaining to me the type of audience that they have. And then I would try to find the voice in me that is most relevant to the kind of content that they create. So it had to really work hand in hand. So with InstaShop, the English is mid to high tone. Shops, 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 very sharp, going and coming, making sure that whatever you get, whenever you get it, however you need it, whenever you need it, it's right there. Shops you love, delivered better. Download the InstaShop app now, making sure that we're on point. But then the Arabic was like, It was just very, you know what I mean? Because it's like, شو بدك يا ماما, هلا يا بابا. So it was very like, helpful, I am a helpful man in Arabic though. But I wouldn't use that tone in English. بستعملها بالعربي. محلات حبونا شو؟ محلات حبونا تسير تسألونا حملوا تطبيق انستشوب الآن أهلين بانستشوب. So that was very designed for that audience. But again, it sounds nothing like 90% of my other work until we go to the governmental work, which, yes, I agree is similar. But again, it has that iconic sound. So Mr. Jad in Dubai Expo 2020 was one of the biggest, earliest ones, because I actually recorded that 2 years before the expo started, and you know that, because you don't like do it the day before. Oh my God, expo's tomorrow, I'm gonna go record. No, you get that done earlier, and I was going down like Dubai Expo 2020, Dubai Expo 2020, Dubai Expo 2020, Dubai Expo 2020, Dubai Expo 2020. That's really nice. Dubai Expo 2020, we're taking you back to 1987, where we got the thing and the that and the here and there. Even though I read literally over 100 scripts, I forgot all of them. But what I can tell you is that they were consistent for that project, right? And don't even get me started about the ones that you're all thinking about, which I'm not doing, because I don't like it. But enough of that, okay? Enough of that. Go get transported. So, but they're all very different is the way. But it's the experience that I got as a marketeer, as a branding expert, and that was through experience. It wasn't through techniques, universities, or any of that. It was literally just through being on the field.
Thank
Bianca,
you.
this is your microphone. So now, I think, after, I don't know, 2 hours of stories.
Really?
Yeah.
It's been that long?
I don't
Are you
know.
guys having fun?
Time was going fast. So thank you, Ahmed.
Thank you, Jad.
I think I will pass back the microphone to you.
if you've had fun, have you had fun? So if you've had fun and you've loved this event, I can't promise you that all events at Thai Dubai are going to be as fun, but we're going to try our best. So our next event at Thai Dubai is going to be next Thursday on the 18th, where we're going to have a LinkedIn masterclass.
What is it again? Sorry.
It's a LinkedIn masterclass where we're going to help teach entrepreneurs to create content, good content.
Oh, so it's gonna be something like, meet people you never wanted to meet, but get to know the things that may or may not help you, utilizing a platform where you overshare personal things that nobody cares about. Is that one of those?
I don't know whether I should tell you about the 25th event.
Bianca, we're still doing.
We're still doing
No, I'm joking. Please come. Please go to Thai Dubai. I'm totally with. It's just the
Thai
comedic.
Dubai.
And Jad and Bianca, I'm sorry, it's just the comedy bit. It just comes out. It's like, I don't mean anything, I swear.
We're generally not a funny organization. I'll tell you that. We're quite serious.
Except for today.
Except for today.
Yeah,
actually.
exception day.
Exception day, yeah. So that is happening on the 18th. Not what he said, what I said. And then on the 25th, which is the following Thursday, we're going to talk about the future of food. We're having an exceptional panel led by our charter member, Bobby, who's a chef extraordinaire. And we're going to have the founder of Hunter Foods and the founder of Food on Table, I think it is, if I'm not mistaken. We're having both these founders come and talk to us about the future of food.
The future of food. So it would go a little, like this would be the ad of this show, okay? Just imagine this with me. It's like, Food reimagined. Food 2.0, it's on its way. With Master Chef Bobby coming in with every single bit of expertise. Have you had a lettuce before? Not like this. Food reimagined with Bobby on Thai Dubai. Thai yourself better with Thai Dubai.
I'm not going to tell you any more events. Follow us if you want to know about the other events. You know where to find us.
So, honestly, is there any more events I can support with?
I will tell you about one.
Okay, tell me about one.
So basically, after today's fireside chat with Ahmad, we've come up with the idea of doing more of those marketing fireside chats, and we'll be introducing at least once a month another talented individual from our Dubai market that has generated a lot of brand value for brands or for himself or for individual brands. So anyone who works within that capacity that we know in the ecosystem that we have here, and trust me, there's a lot of individuals that have helped brands, whether on individual basis or corporations, move forward within the region or even globally. And we're lucky to have them here. And we're going to host one at least every month here, right? The same place. And follow Thai Dubai to know when is the next one.
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to say a closing statement. First of all, what I'm going to do here, Jad, can you hold this for a second? Just keep it like this. What I'm going to do, come close. Yeah, oh yeah, perfect. What I'm doing is making sure that my life doesn't fall apart by tying myself with Thai Dubai. By making sure that every brand deserves a voice. And every pair of Lacoste, is this Lacoste? Yeah. Oh, my ex bought me this actually. With every shoe that one of my exes bought me, I may be able to escape them, but they won't be able to escape me. Ladies and gentlemen, Thai Dubai brings you quality every single time. I got to experience that today, and I hope you did too. With that in mind, I'd like to have one more statement. Merci, Jad. I own a school. It's a real school. It's a real place. It's in Al Quoz. It teaches something called voiceover, and it teaches something called speech and communication. The voiceover program is an 18-week, in-depth, very intense program that is custom-made for each and every person who wants to enter the voiceover industry. It is one-on-one. It's not a classroom. And there's a therapist that assesses you Basically, I did the opposite of a normal school, which traumatized me when I was a child. So I built an experience-based educational platform. And it's not cheap, but being a voiceover makes you good money when you know what you're doing. So if anybody genuinely has that dream, and I do mean that dream, please go to my Instagram, Ahmad Haffar Official, send a message. A lovely woman called Dream will reply to your message. Just start it with, I want to know about the school. And she'll get back to you. We are in total 5 teachers. I do teach sometimes, but it's not about me. It's about the right teacher with the right student and a custom-made program. And there's 5 steps to joining the school. It's not like, here's a check, I'm in. No, we want to get the best version out of you and get you combat ready for the market, because it is a tremendously, tremendously competitive market to be a voiceover. Now, Voice of Dubai, so I'm good. But for everybody else, right? So you want to do that, right? And we're here to help. We really are. And I built the school in the vision of a cool place to be, a safe place to be, the kind of place that just makes you want to call your mom and say, today I'm proud. Let her know that the man you've been seeing, he's a bit nicer than the old one, but do not like them too fast. Not you, sir, the girl behind you. And even though I do love your smile. If you're interested, please check out my Instagram. And I also post on LinkedIn once in a while. And that's where you get to know about the new voices that I'm doing. I'm doing a few governmental voices soon. One of them is the Louvre in Abu Dhabi. You're going to start hearing me there soon. So enjoy, even though I've never seen a painting in my life, but fine. And amongst others, and the music, you'll get to know a lot about my global music work, which affects people on a global stage, not just in this region of the world. Mainly regional, but there's a few global. Now, the last thing I'd like to announce as an exclusive here at Thai Dubai, and with the honor of sitting with Mr. Jad Hindy. Who here is from India? Please raise your hand. Nice. How many times have you been to Taj?
I can raise my hand.
How many of you guys have been to Taj, any Taj hotel? Okay, all right. Now, I think you can tell I'm not from India, right? So this one is private, so no video on this one because I'm not allowed to, okay? Cut here. I am literally in the process of learning how to create Indian music and turn it into a modern standard piece. So with that in mind, I hope you guys get to enjoy it the next time you go to Taj in the next 3 to 6 months and you hear something that's repetitive and relevant, and you can be like, I met that guy, and he made that literally from a small little studio. Thank you guys, and have a beautiful day.